Hey, what's up, YouTube? Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, good wherever you are. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me, and I truly appreciate that. So before we dive into this road from 200 to 175, I got a special guest in the building. She wanted to drop some knowledge on y'all. It's becoming a frequent thing. She really do like dropping some knowledge on y'all. She care about my subscribers just as much as I do, and that's good for her to be at it so young. So, without further ado, come on, mama.
Hi everyone, it's me again, Khalil. Always eat your vitamins because they make you big and strong and they're good for you. Bye now.
Thank you, mama. We'll see you later, okay?
Okay.
All right, baby. Wow. So she improvised most of that because that's not what we rehearsed, but I can't lie, the shit sounded pretty good. All before she tries to rush through it because she's so nervous, but it seems like when the camera's rolling, she's not as nervous. It's a little backwards, but hey, that's my baby. That's my little butt. And I love the comments about when y'all say, "Oh, we miss little butt," and she was right. Hey, man, that's my heart. That's my baby. I got 3 other kids, but they older, they teenagers, so they just like, nah, you can have that. We too cool for that. All right, cool. You do what you want, right? But this road, this road from 200 to 175. So guys, I had an interesting conversation with one of my clients today. And I got to say, I'm actually really blessed to have the few clients that I have because this is a part of the journey that I'm looking forward to the most, right? Helping others. And whenever, I know it's going to start off slow. Every great thing that's worth having is going to take some blood, sweat, and tears to build. But in this space, I know you have fitness influencers. Every time you scroll up and down your feed, you got somebody with a 12 pack that's going to jump out and say, "Hey, DM me." And it's like, you're more inept to jump into that because your motivation is high. If he can do it, I can do it, right? No, stop. Stop lying to yourself. You can't, right? Because what that person over there is not telling you is that their mentality is nothing like yours, right? It's easier for them to get and to maintain their physique because it took them years to get there. See, what you guys look at, what I saw was the finished product. And that's no knock to those guys because they do have the knowledge to get you there. Because even with me, I still have, people that I reach out to if I get stuck or I have an issue or I have a question. But normally I figure the shit out pretty fast. I've done the research on the science on how the human body works in certain aspects, right? So, and everybody's not the same, everybody's pretty different. But for what I have discovered, that even though our bodies are different, we still operate on the same premise: calories in, calories out. If you want to lose that body fat, you want to lose the weight, you need to outwork the calories that you intake, right? And then when you want to recomp that body, and when you want the muscles to pop, and you want to look good, you need to worry about your macros. You got to hit the protein, got to watch the fats, utilize them carbs. Make sure that fiber going for you. So it's I tell people all the time, I actually hate that term. People are like, "Oh man, you got skinny." I'm like, bro, I actually didn't get skinny. I actually just shredded off I got rid of a lot of fat that I didn't need on my body. And this is how I'm supposed to look, right? And even right now, when I stepped on the scale this morning, it's like 190, it was 198.4. Excuse me, guys, it's been a long, long day. But I look forward to doing these videos, barring anything major happen. But yeah, it's like 198.7 or some shit. So it's like, all right, cool. 2 pounds in 2 days. Like, I step on my scale Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But after this Friday, I'm only going to step on every Sunday because I want to make sure that when I come back to y'all on Monday, I can say, "Hey guys, this is what happened during this week. This is where I'm at. This is what we're looking at." And I can tell you on the road to 175, guys, this is going to be hard as shit because at that point, I'm really going to be pushing my body. I have literally been in the cut the entire fucking year, starting from December 8th up until now. My body has literally been not in starvation mode, but it's been like, dude, you've never been in a deficit for this long, because the longest I had been in the deficit since I had been fat was 2 days. Lo and fucking behold, right? How you go in the gym and be like, "Oh shit, I don't see not one ripple in my stomach." But I wasn't in, I was only in a calorie deficit for fucking 48 hours instead of being in a calorie deficit for, 4 to 8 weeks and really building those habits. And like people say, 6 months can change your life. That's true. I just feel like 3 months to get your habits in line, because December, I was like, okay, cool, I'm doing it. January, I started feeling better, you know what I mean? But just because like I had already, dropped a bunch of weight, but I didn't drop the fat that I wanted because, like I said, I was just walking at the time. I wasn't lifting weights. I wasn't recomping. I wasn't like trying to bulk up and, shred up and all this other shit, right? So when I started lifting the weights on December 8th in Luther's program, I was like, okay, I'm already on the roll. Let's just keep it rolling. And then it's like, what you gonna do when you get sore? My mind had already started fucking with me because that's one thing I hated was being sore. But then I changed my mindset. I was like, bro, you're gonna have to like that shit. Get yourself some glutamine, get yourself some fucking creatine, but you're gonna have to start liking this shit. You're going to have to get up off your ass and embrace the pain. Because you ain't pay all this money for this last time to do this. You can't give up on yourself. You can't pay all this money just to piss it off. And I was like, damn, fuck the money. I need to do this for my health. So December, after I ate that, or it was like December 27th, I ate a whole loaf of fucking banana bread, thought I completely fucked up 2 weeks worth of progress. And I didn't. That was a simple phone call to Luther. Look, man, I fucked up, bro. I think we got to start over. Sean, chill the fuck out. Get back on track tomorrow. You didn't put on the 5 pound, because I was in the program 2 weeks. It's like the 8 pounds, the 10 pounds you already lost ain't get put back on because of a whole loaf of fucking banana bread. It's like, that's not how it worked, man. The scale may go up a couple pounds, and that's just going to be the water and glycogen. You ain't had a lot of that in your system these last 2-3 weeks. Get back on track tomorrow. Don't worry about it. I said, okay, cool. So I got back on track, and I ain't looked back since, right? And even when I did go out over in Poland, and it's like, I knew that I was supposed to be eating healthy, and when we was out, it's all right, cool. So let me get, what's the leanest cut you got? Oh, we got sirloin. Let me get that sirloin. Let me get 8 ounces of that shit. No rice. Just let me get broccoli and the steak. Like that's how meticulous I was, because I knew the journey that I was on, right? And going from 315 down to 259 when I started Luther program, it don't make you really feel like you do shit, because for me, I didn't see much of a difference, because when I still took those pictures, I thought I made progress, but I really didn't. When I started, like I said, I started August 19th. And then in October, when I had took those pictures with the little dude on the side of the road, and they put your photo on like this newspaper thing, I was like, dude, I done lost 22 pounds this far, and I still look like this? Like something just wasn't clicking. And that'll fuck with your mind, because the camera ain't gonna lie to you. The camera gonna add 10 pounds, but it still ain't gonna lie to you. I was like, dude, you still fat as fuck. And I was like, damn, I just gotta keep working harder, because I didn't like the results I was getting. But once again, I was listening to some assholes saying OMAD is the way, just eat 1 meal a day, keep it at like 2,800, 2,500 calories, and make sure it's a healthy meal. And then you just walk 10,000 steps. Granted, it did do something, but it didn't do what I wanted it to do. Just simple. You think you know some shit, but you really don't. Humbling yourself. That's what made me reach out to Luther. I had to humble myself to be like, look, I'm just gonna follow directions and stay off of WebMD, ChatGPT, and whatever else that rhymes with that. I had to go back to the basics. So December 8th, all the way to January 8th, I was like, okay, I done lost 10, 12 pounds. And in my head, I was already starting to feel and look good. I was walking around with my head a little bit higher, not because of my body was changing, but because I was finally keeping those small promises to myself. And then, guys, y'all ain't gonna believe this shit, but February came. And then I started to see, okay, my love handle shrank a lot. My stomach shrank a lot. And I got a picture on my phone. I just stood in front of the camera, and I just took that picture, and I was like, damn, I'm getting somewhere. Like, I really felt like I was doing some shit. Then March came. That's when everybody else was like, damn, Sean, you lost some weight. And I was just like, And guys, I'm serious. It literally came from not eating the goofy shit. Like my idea of eating healthy when I was just walking, I would go to the Żabka. That's almost like they 7-Eleven they got on every corner in Poland. It's like I would go get like these tenders. They was fried already. I would go get them. But I ain't care about the fat content. I ain't care about the calories. All I cared about was the protein. So it had like 55 grams of protein. But now looking at it, that shit had like 890 calories per container. And I was eating 2 and 3 containers at a time. Not really understanding like, I was like, oh, it's all protein. Now, granted, that was the only meal that I would eat for that day. It would just be those chicken tenders and some broccoli or some shit, but that was it. And man, I would fuck them tenders up, put them in my air fryer, get that nice little char on them. Next fucking level. And it was spicy, bro, next level. I thought for sure I was gonna lose some weight. I was losing the weight, but not the way I wanted to. But really sticking to the plan this time, like weighing my food. That's what changed the game for me, y'all. I ain't lying. I went to this place called Macro. It's almost like they Costco or some shit. They got a bunch of great meat, fish, all type of stuff in there. And I had went and got me a food scale. And that food scale, I was like, man, let me just start weighing my shit. So at first I was like, should I weigh it frozen? Should I weigh it thawed? Bro, I just started weighing all my food frozen. And I was like, fuck it. If it's lighter than what it's supposed to be, calories are calories, right? So man, once I started weighing my food back in like March, and people had already said, damn, you look like you lost quite a bit of weight. And in March, I was in the 240s. No, I'm lying. In March, I had got down to, because in January, I was in the 240s. February, I was in like the 230s. And in March, that's like towards the end of March, like the 28th, because I remember I had to go to Germany to do some fraternal work and whatnot. And that's when I was touching like 227. I was like at 227. I looked at a picture of me. I was like, damn, I look way different. I look better. I didn't have my face wasn't as lean as I wanted it to be. I still had a little bit of puffiness on me, but I still made a shit ton of progress, y'all. And I was like, oh, damn, all right. So if I just stay on this shit, if I keep my foot on the gas, I'm going to be okay. Say less. So that right there, it wasn't motivation. At that point, my discipline was like, hey, I told you I would work. My consistency screamed at me. I told you we would work if you just listen to us instead of motivation. Discipline, consistency. We'll take care of you. Don't listen to motivation. Motivation is a fucking feeling that fades. Motivation is like a marriage. You're going to have your good seasons and your bad seasons. Sometimes you're going to want to do the shit. Sometimes you ain't going to want to do the shit. But your discipline and your consistency is what's going to get you the body you want, right? So I was like, and there ain't no time limit. You can't put a time limit on it because you didn't put a time limit on how fat you got because you didn't realize how fat you got. None of us really realized it until you put on a shirt and that motherfucker don't fit the same no more. Or you trying to slide them pants up your thighs and they don't fit the same because, motherfucker, you done got fat, right? And it's like, now that I see veins in my thighs and my shins, my calves, my arms, my shoulder, I don't want to go ever go back to that. So I've already instilled in myself, you're going to go to the gym. Just what it is. Tomorrow's my fucking rest day and my body's exhausted because I really put in work during the week. But I don't give a fuck. I'm going to walk to the gym. I'm going to be blasting Caviar Bumps. I'm going to be blasting Ring Around the Rose and whatever other song on Rick Ross album I like. And I'm just going to walk to the gym. I'm going to get on that treadmill. I ain't going to do the cardio that I want to do because I still got to give my body to rest. But the object of my rest day is to actively rest. That means still going to that gym and fucking stretch. Stretch good. That means still get on that treadmill and do at least 45 minutes. Knowing me, I'm going to do 60 because once I get on the phone and start talking to somebody or video chatting somebody, I'm going to lose track of time because I'm not looking at the fucking timer. I'm looking at them. And that's how it's going to go. And then I'm going to look up and I'm like, damn, it's been an hour? All right, because the treadmill here, they slow down. Over in Europe, them treadmills don't stop. You go past an hour, you just go past an hour. And I love that shit. But here's like they got a governor on that shit. Like, yeah, you did well today. Chill out. Nah, fuck that. Let me keep going, right? So that's what I'm gonna do tomorrow. And that's my rest day. I'm still gonna get over 10,000 steps. I have to. I want to stay moving. If anything, I'm gonna try to go get some reps at the driving range too. Oh, for all the golfers out there, I gotta give a special shout out to my boy, Brandon motherfucking Newey. My boy Ant Stevenson, he taught me some shit, but the way Brandon broke the shit down to me had me striking that ball like a motherfucker. And me and Brandon, we don't necessarily compete with each other, but we compete. I still feel like he's a better golfer because he was a range rat longer than I was. But now that I understand the purpose of the range, going to the driving range ain't to translate it on the course. It's just simply to work on your mechanics. So when you out there, you can be better prepared for it. That translate over into your fitness journey. Guys, you have to have the discipline and the consistency to do the hard shit when nobody's looking. And then when you out there to perform, it's gonna show. Meaning, nobody's gonna wake up with your ass at 4, 5, 6 in the morning while they still fucking sleep, right? Nobody ain't gonna wake up with you. You all on your fucking own, right? You out working them while they sleep. So that means you're at the range. You're doing the reps. You're working on your form. You're feeling uncomfortable. You hitting bad shots. You fucking up shit off the tee. but you slow down and you get it because you keep going every day. You keep going because now it's becoming routine to the body and your mind. So when you see them and you're wearing a tighter shirt or your pants fit you better, you know, and you got veins coming out your triceps and all this other shit, and they looking at you like, damn, when the fuck did this happen? Just like in golf. Damn, when the fuck did he start striking the ball so good? Usually he used to have trouble getting off the tee. Now this motherfucker bombing at 270, 280. And he getting on the green in 2. Out of 18 holes, he's on the green in 2 and fucking 16 of them. What the fuck is going on? Guys, it all translates. If you do the dirty work behind closed doors, when it's time to show up, people gonna be in awe. It's the same, bro. The gym and the way you treat yourself translate over into everything else in your life. Straight up. That's what it is. You know, it leaks out that way, and that's a beautiful thing. You know, you're not thinking about it in that moment, right? The gym taught me, especially on the golf course, a lot of fucking patience. Anybody who played golf with me, you never seen me throw a golf club. You never seen me get mad. You may see me like, oh, shit, I fucked that up. But hey, you got to hit another one. Guys, that's the hardest fucking game in the world. It is. And if anybody think it's that easy, why don't you go get yourself some clubs, lace up them fucking shoes, and come play around with me. Let's see how good you really are. Especially if you think, oh, that's just that. That's what people think about the gym. Oh, man, you just going there lifting shit because you vain. Nah, I'm going in there because that's therapy for me. You know, I'm still battling some shit in my life right now. I really am. But when I'm in that gym, I get to breathe. It's therapy for me. I talk to myself. When I want expert advice, I talk to myself. How arrogant is that? But it's cool because I'm in the gym when I do the shit. You know, it's like, oh, man, Sean, you know, this is how you feel today. But squeeze out this rep while you talking to yourself. And it's cool. People be looking at me too. They think I be rapping to the music and shit. No, I'm literally talking to myself. And I'm okay with that. And nobody comes up and fuck with you. Because anybody who's a serious gym goer, they know why you in there. Some people in there for the muscles. Some people in there because it saved their life. Me going to the gym saved my life. Me eating right. Guys, this shit saved my life. Not saying that I was in such bad health condition I was going to die. Nah, man. It saved my life because it gave me another perspective. It made me see how life could be if I just took the opportunity to think more. If I just took the opportunity to care more. If I just took the opportunity to keep promises to myself. Because if I pour into me, I'm not pouring from an empty cup into somebody else. My boy Ken Hamilton, the ultimate gentleman, he says that a lot. Granted, it's a little bit different than the way I say it, but he makes a fine point. Fellas, if you don't prioritize yourself first and pouring into you before you pour anything into anybody else, you're wasting your fucking time. You do not put those women, those children, you do not put them before you. You have to take care of you. My version of me taking care of me is getting off my ass at 4 or 5 in the morning, thanking God that he allowed me to wake up. Thank you for working on me. Let me stretch. Let me eat my banana. Let me take my pre-workout, and I'll walk to the fucking gym. That's how Sean Reed take care of Sean Reed. Because I need that time, whether it's an hour and a half or 2 hours that I'm in there, it still allows me to take care of me. And because I'm able to take care of me, I got more to give to my children. Guys, it's no better feeling in the world than to go play basketball with my son and watch him get winded while I'm just chilling. Foot racing my daughters who swore up and down they could beat my ass, and I skull drug them. Because last time they raised daddy was a fat motherfucker who was gasping and whose lungs was hurting after not even 5 meters. I was like, what the fuck going on? And my middle daughter, she just zoomed right past me. But of course, I'm a man. You know, I had to let her win, right? Yeah, I know, that's your baby. Nah, you know I was full of shit. She beat me because she was just simply faster than me. But now, there's a whole new ball game. Daddy got his shit together, and you not finna just beat me. So she gonna earn it one day, but yesterday, the day before, whenever we did it, wasn't that day. So, guys, this I'm excited, to be honest with you, because this is where it matters. This is where it matters the most. Like, it's going to be hard, and it's going to be very difficult, especially when I hit the 180 mark on the dot, right? 190, don't get me wrong, hovering around the 190s, 191, 192, that was hard in and of itself because it's like my body was telling me, okay, cool, Sean, we did this, you look great. we need to eat. And it's like, nah, we still gonna keep going with this. So I kind of felt like the more I stayed on my regiment, the more my body was fighting me and was telling me like, look, motherfucker, we hungry. Like, you've been doing this shit for 7 months. Do I feel like it's time for a reverse? Absolutely. Do anybody else feel like that that's working with me or around me? Absolutely not. It's not time for that yet. And I gotta take that advice, right? Gotta take that. And it's like, I've been going through so much shit. Like, I ain't really been in touch with my coach like that. You know, I just been taking the information that I got and doing what I gotta do. But other than that, man, I just been solo trying to, just figuring this shit out, just life shit, not like the workouts and the eating, because that's mandatory for me, just like life shit. And everything's gonna happen when it's supposed to. I just gotta be patient and do what I do, right? And it's not easy at all. But one thing I can control is what I do with myself and my body. But like I said, the closer I get to, like, I think once I get out of seeing 190 something, I'll be like, all right, cool. Now we in the 180s. Okay. 185 was my original goal. It really truly was. And I found that like it was getting tough, but I don't think it's gonna be that tough this time, because now mentally I can say, all right, fuck you, let's do it. But whenever I see 180 on the dot, it's going to be tempting to want to stay there, because I don't know how I'm gonna look at 180. I could be just as shredded as I want to be at that 180 mark, because once you get down to those levels, every pound makes a visual difference. Trust me, guys, it do. It makes a visual fucking difference in what it is that you're going to look like. And who knows? Once I hit 185, 180, that might be the, damn, now this is how you're supposed to look. This is how you want to look. And 175 is going to deplete me more. But that 10% is just the goal. That's why I don't want to live there. I want to live at 12, 13, 14 year round, kind of where I'm at right now. This is where I want to live, because I'm still lean. I still look great in my clothes. And, if I want to, I can still like pull off any kind of outfit I want. I don't give a shit. But to get the 10% and maintain it for 30 days, that's just a goal of mine. And I'm gonna get it, because I'm not gonna stop. Don't get me wrong, it's not gonna be easy, because the way I cook for my kids, the way I bake for my kids, yeah, I might get like a quarter of a brownie and eat it, but that shit ain't gonna hurt me. But when you trying to get sub 10, that's when, to me, when you trying to get to 10, everything matters. But when you trying to get to your sub 10s, that's when every fucking thing matters. You look at a piece of rice, you done gained 3%. But I want to make sure it's sustainable for me, because I know how active I am. I make sure, I can look at my shit right now and I already know all my rings did their thing. Just today alone, I done burnt 1,900 calories and some change. Exercised for over 170 minutes. I stood for over 15 hours total. My steps, 12,616, which gave me a total of 5.65 miles. Like, that sounds like a regular day in Poland to me. And over there, it was mandatory that we walk, because everything was so close. And it didn't make sense to catch an Uber fucking 30 feet. Just walk, right? So that's one thing I loved about Europe. It got me used to moving my body, because I didn't have much of a choice, and then I wanted to after a while. So, guys, I can just say, since I started Monday to now Wednesday, guys, we still in the beginning of this thing. The road to 170 is 175, it's going to be just that. It's a road, and we got to get through this shit. It's going to be days where I'll probably be hungry than a motherfucker. But I'm still going to get in this front of this camera and tell y'all, hey, guys, today is hard. But I'm going to drink me some water, and I'm going to take my big ass to sleep. And not only that, this is going to help you sleep. If y'all ain't got that, you need to get it. Maximum strength. Guys, that shit it'll put you down, and it'll keep you down. And then when you get up, you feel refreshed. Guys, your sleep is just as important as how much you lift and how much you eat. You have to sleep. If you're not getting your 6, 7, 8 hours, you're wasting your fucking time. And sleeping less than that is not a flex, because you don't give your body time to recover. So as we continue to go on this journey, remember, you got to push through that uncomfortable feeling. because that discomfort is gonna get you places that you never thought you'd be. Don't get me wrong, I still feel my little water weight at the bottom of my stomach, but do I give a fuck? Nah, because just walking in Walmart, I done been to Walmart every day this week. I shouldn't really be in there, but I get stuff for my kids and stuff. You know, I love them to death, and if it's easy for me to put some shit in the oven for them, I'll do it. But they wanted pizza tonight, so I got them some pizza. But I didn't eat none of it. I ate my meal. Guys, Delightful by Sara Lee, 45 calories per slice. Get that shit. If you a bread eater, you got options. Like, that was an option with some high protein cottage cheese, a 135 gram grilled piece of chicken from Walmart, and then some onions on top of the seasoned cottage cheese with a thing of lettuce. Bruh, that thing was like roughly 244 calories for all of that. And it was probably the best tasting sandwich I had, chicken sandwich I ever had, and it was from home. Guys, you got options to still enjoy the foods that you like. You just got to get crafty. You know, hell, motherfucker, I absolutely love fried rice. But I'm not finna eat no rice right now. I'm gonna get the cauliflower rice because it ain't real rice. It's just chopped up cauliflower that make you feel like it's rice. And that's low calorie as shit. Then get yourself some shrimp, some chicken breasts, or some steak bites. Put you egg whites and 1 egg in there and some peas and carrots. Guys, you will be done had fried rice or however rendition of it that you're gonna make way less than half the calories. And probably twice the protein without not all them oils and fats and shit because you ain't really frying it. Me personally, I just prefer to put the shit in a damn air fryer and just let it do its thing. And then, hey, look, that's good enough for me. Get some low sodium soy sauce, and it's time to go to work. But I haven't earned that meal yet. That's gonna be a meal that I've earned, and that's a goal mark for me. Once I hit 188, that's going to be a meal that I have. Granted, it ain't gonna hurt me, but that's just a marker for me. That's a reward for sticking to the grind, doing what I gotta do, controlling the inputs. That's it. And then when I see I'm out of the 180s and I see a 170 something, okay, cool. Now it's time to really reward myself. I'm gonna get them same 2 slices of Delightful bread. I'm gonna go get me some lean turkey breasts. I'm gonna make them into smash burgers. It's hard for me to find sliced cheese that's low fat. Like, for some reason, I can't find it around here. So only thing I can find is the shredded mozzarella. So that's what I'm gonna get. I'm gonna get some shredded mozzarella to where it's 45 calories per serving. I'm gonna put that on there. I'm gonna get my high protein cottage cheese. I'm gonna spread it on that bread. I'm gonna season it with some onion powder, garlic powder, and some pepper, and a little bit of Slap Your Mama seasoning. I'm gonna put some onions on it. I'm gonna put some white onions and some red onions on it, and then I'm gonna put some lettuce on it. I'm gonna have 2 of them sandwiches, double, smash. Both of them sandwiches gonna come out to a whopping 895 calories. And I still got so much room left over for the day. But I'm probably gonna be full as hell because all that protein is satiating. So I'm not gonna need nothing else. Guys, make your plans before make your plans before you make plans on the go. And when you make plans on the go, they normally don't work when you don't work as good from when you plan to plan in the beginning. So because I'm planning this, I know what to expect and I know how I'm gonna feel. And it ain't gonna stop my grind. So guys, while I'm on my road and you on yours, don't play them fucking away games. We got this. Road to 175. Let's fucking go.